Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, with all due respect, this is your host, BK Jackson, aka B Season on IG, aka that boy that be cooking it right, aka Chef Boyar BK. And absolutely, this is part 2 of an episode series about cooking out in nature. You can see some scenery from my drone flight when my wife Rachel and I went out to the great outdoors, had a little bit of adventure, got to see some rivers, lakes, waterfalls, ancient bridges, forts, and as well as the Georgia Guidestones, which if you've never been to Elberton, Georgia, you are doing yourself a great disservice, because the Georgia Guidestones are like America's Stonehenge. And after that long day, we came back, I showed you guys how to make a great fire, and now it's time to cook these steaks. So let's see what we're cooking out here. So what we got here is a pair of Pat LaFrida steaks. This is Amazon's brand, or they've actually partnered with Pat LaFrida. They've eaten steaks for a long time. So if you ever order food for social distancing through your Amazon account and they deliver it, most likely it's going to be a Pat LaFrida steak. Pretty good steaks. They tend to be a little undersized, but they taste very, very good. So what we got going on here is Rachel is patting them dry so that we can get what's called a excellent Maillard reaction, or in layman's terms, crust. The drier the steak is, the better crust it's going to make. So she's doing a really good job of patting them down on all sides. And then what we're going to then do is we're going to adhere some seasoning to them. Now, don't worry that if it's a little dry that the seasoning is not going to stick. It will. As soon as you put salt on it, and we got some pink Himalayan sea salt there. It's a very fine granular salt, so it's going to really coat that outside there. She's going to spread that on there, and then you're going to notice later in the video that I'm going to like pat them down. When you apply steak to the if you apply salt on the outside of that steak, it's going to bring the moisture out of that steak more. So it will adhere to it. I promise you it will. So she's going to take her time really getting all sides of that. These are pretty thick steaks, so you don't want to under-season. You know, we talk about that all the time. The salt alone is not seasoning, so we're going to apply some other kind of seasonings to this situation. But really make sure you get all aspects, every single bit of that steak covered with some salt. Don't worry, you're not going to over season it. Then what we got right here is we got some garlic powder that we're applying to that. Go ahead and put that all on there. Now you're going to notice a little bit later when we put some direct heat onto these steaks, that garlic powder will singe a little bit, but it's okay. It's still going to have a really good flavor to it. So you don't want to put pepper on it because it's going to singe way worse than that. So you're going to see we're going to put pepper on it afterwards. So just garlic powder. Yeah, see, no pepper. That's what I said. Yes, and then we actually put some, looks like some Cajun foreplay. Now, you're going to notice that we have everything in Ziploc bags. That's because we're camping, and it's going to help keep moisture and also keep a low profile. I'll explain that a little bit more to you later. So this is a little bit more Cajun foreplay that's going to give it a little spice and seasoning. Rachel's helping me, insisting that's what you see me pointing at. So she's going to put it on there, get that seasoning in there, because salt alone is not seasoned. You got to well season these steaks, man. Flip them right over, get that other side just nice. And then what you're going to do then is you're just going to really just let these steaks sit and do what's called a dry brine. You don't want to mess with them. You just want to leave them. Don't cover them up. Just let them sit, pat that seasoning in there real good, make sure it gets, and then just let it sit. So I'm going to go outside, and now I'm going to start working on the campfire to make sure that it is ready for the next phase of our cooking. So like you saw in the last episode, I said it's okay to bring the poker and lay out your logs to make a really good stove cooking surface. So that's what you see me doing there. Those logs are seasoning up just right, giving a real nice embers, and then I'm going to put a grate on top of there in just a little bit once it's done seasoning. So speaking of seasoning, Rachel's inside while I'm working on the fire. She's covering up all of the vegetables. So we got a couple of potatoes there. We're going to do some baked potatoes, campfire baked potatoes. She's got some fresh corn. We were lucky on the way there that we were able to get fresh produce from a local farms. I believe it's called, what's the name of that farm? Oh yeah, J Moore Farms. J Moore Farms. How could I forget? Speaking of also farming everything, you see me laying out all of our seasonings. We put our seasonings in Ziploc bags because it makes it easy for travel rather than putting them in these bulky packages like that. But we do got our Lowry's. Don't trip. We got it. All right, so now we're going on. Rachel is now finishing up. She's got the onions. She's about to season those and put those in some foil as well. Remember to double foil up, and that's going to keep the heat out. Our steaks are still dry brining, getting that seasoning there just nice. We got all of our other items now Ziploc bagged up. Rachel's going to take them out there as my sous chef. And now we really getting to cooking. All right, so the logs are nice and seasoned, man. That's what you want to see. A little bit of fire, but mainly it's got a lot of ash and a lot of embers. We're going to put that grate right on there and let that heat up. And then we are going to start putting out all of our vegetables. So I got my King Cooker glove on right now. It's a high temperature glove. It's going to keep me from singeing myself while I'm out there. I can feel the heat, but it won't burn me. And now I'm going to go to our big Ziploc bag, our gallon bag, and we're going to put all of these vegetables right there on that fire while that grate is heating up. So we're going to start with laying everything out and make sure we know everything we got, so we know what real estate we're going to be placing all these items on. Having it all in this is going to make it, it's going to really keep it right where you need it to. All right, so we're going to put those are the potatoes. We put those right between those farther logs. Again, I got the King Cooker glove, so I'm not burning myself. These are the onions. I cut one big Vidalian onion in half, or Rachel did at least. She seasoned it, put some oil in there, some butter, and then we got the two stalks of corn as well, double wrapped. Double wrap is incredibly important. It's going to keep the heat inside, but it's going to keep us from burning our food. The most important thing to remember is that everything cooks at different temperatures. So come on down here real quick. So notice I got the potatoes over here. They're directly on the hottest part of the coals, whereas everything else is kind of raised above on a little grate. Now, this area is where I'm going to end up putting my steaks a little bit later. So this stuff is going to cook before this, and then it's going to be pulled off to kind of chill. These are going to stay on. I'm just going to flip them halfway through. And then our steak, like I said, will be cooked over here. We're going to do steak two ways. We're going to cook it. We're going to do one on a grill grate, just because some of y'all like it just straight up grilled. And then some of y'all like a really good Maillard reaction, which is a good crust. So we're going to do it on cast iron. So we'll do it two ways. Again, the key to this is understanding that different vegetables cook at different rates and have different densities and amounts of water in them. So you want to give each of them the right amount of time and attention. So if you notice, we elevated these other faster cooking corn and onions. We put those on top of the grate and put them above the other thing and the other vegetables, and not exactly right there in. Whereas the potatoes, we put them right there in the embers because they need all of that time and they need to go in first. You're going to see a little smoking. It's okay. Okay. This is a major pro tip. Major pro tip. When you cook your vegetables this way, you have to double foil wrap. Don't just wrap it one time and cover it up. You got to do it twice. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to let the smoke of the wood get in, but you don't want the fire to get in. Smoke can get in any crevice, but fire you want to keep out because you want it to kind of boil and then sear toward the end. So that's kind of what you want to do with the vegetables. So make sure you double. If while you're cooking you see through the foil, you're cooking it wrong. You're not doing it right. You didn't wrap it tight enough because it's going to burn if you can see it. I gotta get this through. If you can see little cracks and crevices, you see your meat, your vegetables inside this thing, you didn't wrap it right. You should not be able to see it. It should boil in there. It's going to keep that heat contained and not get out. After about 25 to 30 minutes, you're going to reorient your corn as the fire's starting to calm down a little bit and go more toward the embers phase, which is perfect for the steak. We've put the cast iron there. So you're going to want to move your vegetables around. So you already saw we took the onions off completely. We put those onto the side off camera. And then you're going to turn your corn a little bit more. You can kind of feel with your tongs there that they're about ready. So you're going to want to take those off. So you saw I took those off, put those to the side to keep them warm. Bring our steak in that has been dry brining in the house this entire time, so it is marinated just right. We're going to take some avocado oil. Avocado oil is high temperature oil. We're going to put that on the cast iron, okay? That's going to give us a nice crust from the cast iron. Let that sizzle up just nice. And I'm going to let y'all get some of these noises in here. Yeah, let's get some of the noise from the ashes. Yeah, some ashes are going to get through that grate onto the steak, but that's okay. It's good for it. It's good, clean wood, okay? It's really good for you, I promise. Oh, just listen to those noises, man. Listen, that crackling, that sizzling, that popping. That's what you want. Flip those over after about 2 minutes. Steak is interesting because as it is flesh. Ooh, I almost lost it there. It's going to look a little dark, but it's okay, I promise. Move it over there into that oil on the cast iron side. Get it 2 more minutes on that other side while those vegetables are finishing up. Just enjoy yourself, man. Enjoy nature. All right. After 2-3 minutes, flip it over one more time just to kiss it. Put it on a plate. Have your plate handy. Get that other one off of there. ASAP. Put it on over there after getting one more kiss. Just like this. And take it on over to the table. Let that sucker get on that plate. Put another plate on top of it and don't touch it. Let it rest. Let them seasonings. Give it about 5 to 10 minutes. Don't cut into it. While you're doing that, remove your veg. Put it in a Dutch oven. If you're wondering why we have a Dutch oven, it's because we're camping. You should always have a Dutch oven. Pro tip. Always have a Dutch oven with you when you are camping. Thank me later. All right. And after about 5 to 10 minutes of letting them juices settle, letting the fat kind of congeal back in so it doesn't just drip all out. On the left, we got the steak that was on the ashes direct. On the right, we have the steak that was on the cast iron. Notice the crusts are slightly different and the coloration is slightly different. But it doesn't matter what the coloration or categorization in this dancery, because we're going to slice it right on up. Just nice. Just nice. I'm getting excited. Reminiscing on the love we had when we was kissing this. Reminisce. Because, boy, steak was so good. I wish y'all could boy, you better eat that thing. Boy, you better, ain't it good? I know it is. I know it's good. And we got to get this other one. Just nice. Cutting against the grain. I wish y'all could see the color in this steak. I really wish you could see it because it was a great steak. When it first comes out, yeah, it's nice and pink. When it first comes out, the mitochondria in the blood is going to need some time to oxygenate before you can see that redness, but you're going to put it back on there, let it rest another couple more minutes, and now you can see the redness. See there? That is a perfectly medium steak. We're going to now put the pepper, that cracked pepper, right on top. Some finished pepper. If you're a person who loves a ton of salt, you can do some finished salt, but we didn't need any more of this. We had plenty. Good, brother. And now we got our vegetables that have been sitting in that Dutch oven. The reason why you want to do that is going to finish cooking in there. So we got some corn, a potato, going to pile it up nice and high so those things can cool down so we can actually handle them. Now it is done resting. And now it is time to serve ourselves some of the goodness. I'm going to let y'all hear some of these hunger noises. Oh, look at that potato. 2 kinds of steak, BK? Yeah. 2 kinds of steak, bruh. Bruh. Get that. You want some of this? Give me some. Oh yeah, that's good. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Give me some of that. Oh, that potato nice and flaky. Just.
Is that good?
Yeah, I know it's good. I know. And I know. Look at that perfect pink medium. Just enjoying life, man. That's what it's all about, man. It's a little messy. Oh, that's so good. After all that hard work. Oh, that's so good. Oh, man. Give me some pickled okra right here. Gotta wait at the end of the table. Make sure that wind don't take the tablecloth. But it's on, man. That's what it's all about. Got this steak. I hope y'all can see that. It's a nice medium pink. It's good. It's on.
It's good.
That onion.
It tastes like
The onion come up. It's just so supple. Onion petals. Got some homemade pickles from the guy that runs this ranch. Got this corn right here. Rachel like her corn a little more burnt than mine.
tastes like camping, man. I love it.
All right. She needed a jar opening for her, so it's time for us to continue on what I did. But as you can see, if you take your time, invest a little effort, you're cooking it right, man. That's what it's all about. So y'all see what I'm cooking over here. What y'all cooking over there? Thanks for joining us on our 2-part camp cooking excursion. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch it. See you next time.